Namaste. My name is Abraham Verghese. Welcome to this session of answering a question that has been raised in the IELTS question paper. And I operate under the aegis of B-Ghud, who have produced this book, which will be helpful to you, where these questions are from. I was a barrister in London for some time, and I was in England, living in England for 45 years. Now, that may not mean much if you haven't got any experience or have not acquired some knowledge at least. And that's the best claim I have to give certain views on the topic in issue. Please bear in mind that I'm not an expert in these matters. I have views that might be contradictory and which obviously many people or some people might take objection to and have a different view. Well, that's great. To me, that's welcome, and I'll be very happy to hear them and to share their knowledge. I'm here to provide what I can through my experiences, and I hope that you all will also share with me your experiences to brighten up my understanding of life and my understanding of people's lives. The question here is, these days everyone seems to have more and more possessions. Example, computers, cars, mobile phones, and similar such products. Our strong desire, it appears, is to own these things, and which makes us less aware of important personal qualities such as kindness and concern for others. Do you agree? Well, I think I will start off by saying that I agree, because now what is happening with these new funded instruments of electric and other modes is that it occupies a lot of the time for anybody, be it a youngster or be it anybody along the way in life. And that means actually less time for the care and consideration and kindness and honesty with those that are close to us, our immediate family, and particularly so to those who are our neighbors. Right? Now, you might ask, who are our neighbors? And my answer is, whoever is affected by your actions or inactions. That means a neighbor does not have to be your immediate neighbor, somebody living next door or opposite or behind your house or anywhere else. In fact, your neighbor is anybody who actually you come across or aware of, and you might not know even of their existence. But if it affects them, then you are responsible for it. While I understand the need for humankind's advancement, the basis of our societies is the cooperation, coordination, love, nurturing, honesty, and such similar qualities that actually bind us as societies together and as a world society. If we lose sight of them, then we give little value or we lessen the value of life, because life requires these things. Life requires that we act properly with each other and within ourselves. If we fail, then the consequences are that there'll be animosity, there'll be conflict, there'll be disagreement, and eventually, in larger and more hostile situations, violence of different kinds. At the same time, computers and similar products, cars and similar products, and others that I mentioned, they are a necessity for today's life because we have advanced and invented these instruments to help us, to give us effectively more time in doing other activities that we have pleasure in doing and in following. But sadly, in many ways, the computer, and I pick out this example in particular, rather than the computer, the phone has become the center and focus of many people's lives, particularly the young, and they are diverted from the priorities of life. Or they enter into a conflict with their parents, then they might misbehave, then there are consequences of that, and I don't need to multiply what all the effects might be. Yes, like the earlier times, listening to a radio, you heard it for X amount of minutes, and then you were back to your work or your duties or just relaxing and playing. Similarly with the television. Now, there is no reason why the same principle cannot be applied to the use of our phones. And we must also be careful, as parents, let's say, to monitor what they are seeing, because there is a lot of information, quite a lot of which is misinformation, misleading, and unsuitable for youngsters. One has got the responsibility as parents to ensure that your child is brought up with the correct values in mind, and it is your duty to do that. You have a right over the children, but they are not property. They are not your property. They are actually yours, but once they become separated from the mother, they are private individuals that need to be cared for and have the absolute rights of anybody else. So, we have a right, but our right is to inform them, not to beat them, not to abuse them in any way. At the same time, we have a duty to ensure that their future is well looked after and that they take the right directions of life. To me, if more importance is given and more allowed for the children and other people also, that is of all ages, to indulge in the use of electronic items or other items which dissipates the amount of time that is available to them for other activities, then my view is that it is more damaging than it's helpful. Thank you very much. Namaste.